it's just like fan service. Like, we get it. Like, you like drawing her. Yeah. That's what it feels like.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Volume 1, the Anime and Manga Podcast, where we review the first volume of a brand new manga each week. My name is Josh Dojin Michaels.
Whoa.
And with me today, as always, are...
Megan the Bully Paree.
Yeah.
Cody Decker.
Yeah. Nothing for your name today, huh?
I don't know why there would be.
And what about you, Volume 1-chan? Aren't you going to introduce yourself?
It is I, Volume 1-chan. Hey, Cody, you kind of look like the main guy from the series.
Because I have glasses, I don't look anything like the guy.
Whatever you say, senpai.
Okay, you know, I'm going to go ahead.
Wait, no, I promise not to bully you, senpai.
Cody?
Please don't.
Okay, so what we're going to do now.
Wow, she hit you with the senpai real quick.
Yeah, she got you with the senpai, Cody. You
don't-
do kind of look like him a little bit.
I don't know what you're basing that on. But we should talk about the manga now.
It's
But-
kind of like the overall feel.
It's
you
a
know?
vibe. It's a vibe. Yeah.
I
But speaking of the manga we're reviewing today, we are reviewing Volume 1 of Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, or it's also known online as Please Don't Bully Me, Nagatoro-san. A lot of interesting things surrounding this series, a lot of controversy surrounding this series. I don't know what order we'll talk about it, but I want to talk about the controversy, and I want to talk about what happens in Volume 1 and the story. And our thoughts on the story, but I think it's going to be interesting to talk about everything that's surrounding this, because it does, just this series alone brings up a lot of interesting points.
Yeah, very interesting. In my search, even I read a article. It's like Twitter mob over Nagatoro's. I was like, what is this anime about even? And I look it up because I kind of heard of it before, but everyone's just pissed. Like, it hasn't even fucking come out yet, and people are pissed.
Yeah, people are trying to cancel it already.
Yeah,
apparently
because they're like, oh, that's toxic, or because they're like, that's too raunchy.
We'll get into it.
Couple
in
different
a bit. Yeah, but just remember, as always, I'm not going to read the cards today, but just remember to click the links, comment below, subscribe, let us know what we should review next.
Yeah, comment whatever. We've had some people be like, yeah, look, I'm just commenting to the algorithm. Someone just commented 69,
which is kind of like fitting.
Which
like,
is
it's like our
lit.
vibe.
which is dope.
Yeah.
Do stuff like that.
Yeah. More of that, please.
More of that.
But yeah, comment, and we do read the comments at the end of each episode in the Wonder Circle, and we're going to do that too. And let us know. I doubt it, but let us know if this series merits a volume done or a full series review. I'm rocking my Burn the Witch scarf, but Megan, you're rocking a full cosplay.
Full cosplay. It's like I had no idea about the series at all, but my friend was like, you should cosplay her. And I was like, who is this? And I look her up and I was like, oh, small tan girl. Yes. That just fit the MO.
Yeah, and tan is another issue that we're going to get into in a little bit. But
You have an issue with that?
No, people do though.
People do though.
Well,
I'm not going to wear this the whole episode. It's getting very hot.
Yeah, it's making me like sweat.
Yeah, it's
dude.
making
I should have
me
done
hot.
more of a striptease.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have done the bath towel thing.
This cosplay, it's very similar to Kobeni, but with a little subtle differences.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a different energy too. Yeah.
And it should be said because people watch. She's wearing the skirt from the manga too, but it's like.
Oh yeah.
What's funny is Megan does not
frame.
do that news thing of like, oh, they can't see below the camera. I won't even bother. She did the full thing, even though there's no way to tell she did that.
Maybe
Okay,
she'll
there's
do a
no
TikTok
cons.
after.
There's no cons. Okay, there's no fucking cons. I have to get my fix when I can. Okay, and this was the fix that I needed.
No, it's called.
Thank you.
It's called dedication. Yeah, it's called dedication. We usually like to read the back of the manga, but there's no real synopsis or anything on the back, but it's pretty straightforward. This series, I think, started as a web comic or a web manga, and it was published by Kodansha in 2017, and they also published a Silent Voice, which two completely different series, but that's the beauty of it. They can publish, all kinds of series. But So do you guys want to talk about the story first, or you guys want to talk about the controversy surrounding the story?
I don't know what we should start off with first.
Let's discuss what the series is first, and then we'll talk about the controversy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough. So
this is a guy who wants to become a mangaka, who gets who piques the interest of a girl who's wants to tease him.
yeah. The first couple chapters of this series really pissed me off.
Yeah, it's definitely like, holy shit, he's crying.
Yeah, in the first couple chapters, I was
cry.
like, is this supposed to be funny?
No.
This is not funny.
No.
And that's like chapter 1 and 2 mainly.
It's funny how ridiculous it is. How like this person would like bully someone to the point of tears. Like it's hilarious that he's.
Yeah, that's very funny. I imagine that it hit a little close to home.
That's what we're saying, Cody.
You guys, I didn't even know Cody yet.
It's
kind of the cosplay
hilarious.
works both ways. You guys both.
I thought about like, I just got to wear a white collared shirt and it would work. But I was like, no, I'm not.
He thought about it.
Yeah,
The thing is, you thought about it though,
Yeah.
and I like that. But yeah, it's. I don't know how you guys felt about it. I think probably maybe the same, but I did not really. I wasn't really into it right away. I thought it was mean. I thought it was mean spirited. I thought it was. And look, I could take a joke, and I'm all for a little roasting. You see me and Cody go back and forth a lot on this show specifically.
It's just not fun when there's only one person roasting and it's extremely personal.
And the difference is Cody's not crying.
Yeah, it's
You know?
like okay, that's where you draw the line.
Well, at least not here. He probably gets in his car and, a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah.
First of
after
all,
every episode, he cries.
I'm
in
a
his
single
car.
tier kind of guy. I'm not a.
You're over dramatic even when you're sad.
What do you mean over dramatic?
A single tear is very dramatic.
When you're sad, it's actually under dramatic.
No,
No, it's dramatic.
What do you no?
If you say something
Like
to
if I
upset
was
me
like
and
a little
single
sobbing
tear-
baby like you, that would be over dramatic.
What are you, a cholo? Like, calm
yeah,
down.
get it tatted on your face.
Do
while
cholos
you're
call
at
each other babies?
Hey, what's up, baby? Yeah, they do sometimes.
it. I mean, they call women babies, but
No, they call men babies too. Hey,
this
what's
is
up?
this is my homie little baby.
You
over
just
here.
got in the yard? What's up, baby?
What's up, baby?
And they have teardrop tattoos
Oh, that's what you were.
yeah,
okay.
that's the
for
correlation.
their kills, but you don't have any kills. It's just your spirit kind of got killed.
Yeah, I have one tier for my dead. Spirit.
Yeah, and you can't really.
And Megan, what she likes to do, she gets in character. So.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's no way for you to tell what was really happening before we hit record, but Megan's been a little mean spirited.
She's
all day.
been in a punchy
I'm
mood
fucking
lately.
ready.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
been hitting me and Josh where it hurts.
Yeah, the
More so
cosplay-
Cody because he's next to me, and Josh is kind of
at a safe distance.
safe distance.
Yeah.
I can't really like go over the table and
Oh,
punch
yeah,
him.
she got real close though. The cosplay has overtaken her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the teasing. I was honestly like, that seems realistic, but
What?
I was reading it like, so this is the writer's like fantasy.
Okay.
It didn't come across as like he was like, oh, this is scary. This was like he wanted this person in his life. That was the impression I got.
Yeah.
Well, interesting enough, I couldn't really right away tell whether it was written by a male or a female, a man or a woman. I couldn't tell.
You couldn't tell.
I mean,
You couldn't
at
tell.
a certain point, it became very clear. But in the beginning, I was
You
like,
really couldn't tell. You couldn't tell at all, and you couldn't tell.
in the beginning, I was like, this would be hilarious if it was written by a woman.
Yeah, we don't have to get into it, but I will
Not
say
now.
that the teasing that happened, I was like, I can relate.
Okay, well, so you had girls bully you like that?
There are, if you want, we can go into how I was like,
Cody.
oh yeah, that's something. Like I was like,
Yeah.
this is not unrealistic on any level.
It felt more so like not like a like I comparison teasing Master Tatagi-san, which is like such a cute slice of life. It's these two middle school kids, and she is literally Nagatoro, but like wholesome. Like the pranks are very wholesome. She just like to see him like funny. It's not very like sexualized like this series, which
yeah, I did not expect that.
Yeah, no, she's not like that, and it's like so funny that this is literally that. Like it's that times 10. Like
yeah. You guys brought up two interesting points, though. The sexualization of this character.
yes.
Which
And
did
then-
start getting a little uncomfortable.
yeah,
Because I kept
no,
expecting like, okay, I guess that's as much as it will go.
No.
But then I was
No.
like, oh, they were just getting
Oh,
started.
every
Okay.
page.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, every
does
panel.
it
Okay.
shock you that some of the controversy comes from the fact that this mangaka, this creator, was a doujin artist and hentai. He wrote a lot of hentai series.
Bro, we'll get into that because it's a lot.
7-4 is like his alter ego.
774.
774.
Okay.
Nanashi.
The art style does not surprise me that at all, and especially this seems like constantly. Like, if there was, like, a TV show where it was just the first 2 minutes of a porn before anything happens, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And then the story is just that. Yeah. And it just never crosses the line, though.
Yeah, this story is all of the preamble or the pretext.
Yeah.
Before they start fucking.
No, literally, like, every page you're like, okay, this is just this. Just this back and forth. It's just this.
There was an interesting story that started happening that I don't know if it gets abandoned, but I could see how it was I was seeing the point of these characters and like the story that was going to happen with it, which I actually started to like. And then, every now and then you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Very fan servicey.
And there was a bit which I get would be like the most controversial. I was like, that's a funny spin on that. I mean, everything aside, I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's never been done before, and it's nice to see that reversed, actually.
Yeah, this manga did have a point where it kind of started to win me over a little bit.
Yeah.
But initially, it was a hard no.
Literally, the its fucking genre is rom-com. I'm like, bitch,
No.
where's the rom?
Yeah.
Where's the com?
Where's the com?
Yeah. C-O-M,
Go
C-O-M,
to
C-O-M,
his
C-O-M.
other work.
Yeah, go to
His
774.
C-O-M.
Yeah.
This is ROM, but if you want the com.
Not that.
Yeah, go to some of his dojins. He actually did like a Naruto hentai. I mean, a Naruto Hinata like dojin.
Yeah, but do you know any of...
Hypothetically, what would you look for?
Do you know any of the other tags that he's done?
Actually, I did, really... kind of prepare.
Yeah, I know
for this
you.
episode.
You like to prepare for episodes.
Yeah,
I
did a lot of research. I prepared. I'm professional.
Some of them are horrific.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Like
that's
and stuff?
Like horrific.
Yeah, that's
like,
that's the problem with this, right? Is that like it's an underage girl. It's a high school girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this creator has a history of specifically creating these things that aren't just like sexual. They're like very graphic.
Because humiliation is like his cup of tea.
This situation isn't like that rare or uncommon. I know there's some artists like that do webcomics and like because they like, oh, how do you make commission as an artist? The best way is to do commissions for porn.
Yeah.
So like there are a couple that'll be like, yeah, I did this, and like there's been like controversies where like it was like, yeah, look, the ones that'll pay are the ones that can't get their specific fetish anywhere else. So you end up just getting work drawing this, and this.
Yeah. That's true on Fiverr where you can hire freelance artists. There's a lot of them who advertise that they do NSFW as like a selling point. Like,
that's where the big bucks are made. Yeah. And it's also like, oh, I need to work on my craft. It's like, well, you do get to work on,
proportions.
Hey, drawing, making stuff look wet is hard. As someone who's had tried his hand at digital art.
Oh, okay. I was
getting
like,
that texture is tough.
NSFW.
Yeah,
have you been asked to do anything?
No.
Oh,
no, never. And I've never drawn it out of curiosity.
That's
either.
a lie.
No, just for...
That's a fucking lie.
I can't
Any artist has done it.
Yeah.
No, I really haven't. I mean, I've done it like as a gag, but I've never like sincerely like sat down. And not that there's anything wrong with it. Like, I mean, there is beauty in the naked body, okay?
No,
okay, well, just because you've never seen one.
That was solid. Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah, I have no recourse there. You got me.
You walked right into that one.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, fuck. Just kept
That's
my
what I
mouth
like
shut.
about you, dude. You'll acknowledge it. And even when I, like, sometimes I'll throw something at him and it's not good, and he'll call me on that too. But it goes both ways.
No, I've been truly owned. Where's the gunshot noise?
But yeah, so it's like crude. It's horrible. The stuff that he draws is like.
Yeah, I didn't look up. I didn't look at. I just
Bondage,
read the
torture.
tags.
Okay.
The tags were all I needed to see.
Yeah.
On principle, I don't think there's anything wrong with an artist who does like porn work
No.
doing their own
Neither
work.
do I. Yeah.
But
No.
okay, because I didn't know that they. But it's not. I'm going through all these scenes and I'm like, oh yeah, these are all the setups for a porn to happen.
Yeah.
His main thing is like humiliation. Like
That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, yeah,
that
that's
was
why.
the impression I got. Is this guy's fetish is being humiliated.
Yeah,
100%.
and he really just wanted a girl to do all that. Like I think that guy is real. Like the main character is him. but then
Well, in the first chapter, she even says like, "Oh, is this supposed to be you? Like you're putting yourself in the manga, you fucking pig." And he's just like,
Which is why
ironic, right? Because he's putting himself in this.
Yeah,
manga.
which was the part of it that I thought was well written, where I thought it was about these two people like writing manga together, essentially, and then it had a little commentary and self inserts, and it was like, your self insert is too confident, where it's like you in reality are not that confident. Like that's a good point. Those are like good notes on writing. That got me interested, and I was sort of like glossing over those like. Okay, this is wish fulfillment for this character.
Yeah, it's the same.
You guys also brought up humiliation, which is another. As I was doing research for this series, another thing that came up was that it seems that there's this huge sort of shift happening in anime and manga. There's outrage for everything, by the way. I'm not saying that like all outrage is valid.
Yeah.
But they do seem to have a point when it comes to this like new genre of humiliation anime and manga. It seems like it's popping up more and more.
Yeah, but it's Uzaki-chan, which just came out, the one that I showed you with the huge boobs, and everyone's like, her boobs are too big.
That's one of those things where it's like, body positivity, but you don't mean that. You mean your body positivity.
Yeah, so she's like, it's like the teasing Master Tatagi-san and Uzaki. Like Uzaki's in the middle, like it's like kind of lewd, and this is just like lewd to the max. Like there's stages of the humiliation.
No, 100%. And people compare this series a lot to Uzaki-chan, but I think what's different isn't she older?
They're
she in college?
They're both in college.
Yeah. So the other thing comes from like
these are
high school. And she's specifically, I think, a freshman or sophomore.
That was the first thing where I was like, that's weird, because it's like, oh, he's like a sophomore, which means the second year or third year?
Sophomore, second.
I think they only have 2 years of high school, right?
But
so that's kind of like the version.
Or they have 3. I think it's junior. They don't have like a senior year.
Because I remember that being a big thing in high school, where like the seniors would specifically hit on freshmen before they graduated.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I almost got pulled into that trap. I almost did. Glad I didn't.
Yeah. I also don't know...
It was one of those things where it's like, I guess this isn't illegal what you're doing, but
also
feels like it should be.
Another point is I don't know what, like... And this is... I understand. A weird thing to ask even, but I mean, in the context of this story, what is even the age of consent in Japan?
It's like 16.
So that's another point.
That's the age in most countries,
right? So does that make this better?
Okay, let's get brass tacks. Anime has been doing this shit for fucking years, and obviously this is like way extreme, and it is like portrayed as like, okay, I would see this in a fucking hentai page, like her faces, her fucking demeanor, like the scenes that they're in. So it's kind of like literally like an ecchi, to like pushing that to the max with a character like this, and it's every fucking anime has fan service shit, and it's not as bad as this, but just the way it's drawn, I think people are like, oh, and especially the manga, you're like, it's a little iffy. That's why it's like the 2 and 2 both together. I think that's why people are so upset.
Yeah,
because this is like fucking been happening for years, and it's just like.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many things that made people upset about this outside of everything that we've already talked about, but I don't want to forget about this part either, and that is when you mentioned tan, her being tan in the manga.
Which is a thing you have a problem with?
No, not I.
Okay.
Not I, but some people apparently did. Some people, because in the manga, it does seem like she has a darker skin complexion because of the way she's shaded.
Yeah.
And some people...
she does.
Yeah,
it's
but
on the cover.
Yeah, and when she is in the bath, which
Jesus Christ.
I wish I did not see that, and I wish I could get it out of my head. Stop.
Yeah.
Looking like that.
Where are you going with this, buddy?
She has tan lines, is all I'm saying. So it's clear at that point that
she's capable of getting a tan.
Right. Well, that she just has a tan. That's why she's that dark.
Yeah.
But some people mistook that for her being black.
Yeah.
It's like, does no one understand that like other people can have tans and
stuff? No, apparently not. And people are mad. And it's either that.
You know what I'm tired of is everyone thinking the world is black and white.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Yeah. The world is full of color.
Yeah, and that's that's the thing they did with the bunny girl from My Hero.
Oh, she's on the darker side too, right? But she's not a black character, or is she?
I think she's either half or she's from Thailand, because there are Asians with
darker skin
yeah,
complexion.
literally,
because they're closer to the equator, and that's how tans work. So like, I don't.
people have melanin. It's like not a fucking shocker.
Like
and she does sports. Like she swims.
Yeah. People don't understand that you could like have shades of melanin depending on how much sunlight you get. But like, do you not know?
They don't
didn't study the human body. They explain that right in school that like you get a tan based on like, and I get that crackers like Josh they can't.
Whoa, dude, come on, dude.
They can't get it, but like me and
you're the same as him.
We are
I'm more Latino than both of you.
We're exactly half, but my mother is a Latina, whereas his father is a Latino.
That doesn't matter.
But it does because I can get a tan.
But
and I turn red?
I can walk both worlds. Josh can only turn red when he steps out into sunlight or if he feels any emotion.
Oh, well,
And when
have
he
you thought
unloads
about this? Have you thought about this? Maybe I can be a double agent, and maybe I can infiltrate the whites.
Wrong episode.
Wrong
episode.
Okay,
Like
we'll
today,
save
I literally sat out for an hour.
And
just
you
like
have a
on
tan,
my
yeah.
phone, and then I go to the room and I'm like, oh, I have a tan line, cool, and that's literally
How
how
does it
works.
feel knowing people would consider that a plot hole?
Yeah.
That is like,
How
wait,
does
but
that
she
feel?
was lighter skinned earlier.
Look at the past episode. I think you can tell the difference.
Look at the beach episode, the
oh
Dungeon
yeah,
Meshi episode.
yeah, we were super dark there.
I
but
was on a tan and streak for a while.
I was
the
bright
thing
red.
is with this character, like it's kind of weird also that people are like, we have to put like race on a character. It's like, I mean, they
Like, are
live
you
in
incapable
Japan.
of continuing the story until
Exactly,
you figure that out?
but
Yeah.
that's the thing though, because it's like, oh, she's black and they're defending her of being black, but there's also just fucking racists being like, I don't want to see this tan character if they think that she's black, and they're racist towards her because they think that she's black or like Hispanic or dark skin. It's so insane.
It's in Japan.
It's so
Yeah.
insane. It's like, it's so toxic. Like I hate this shit. Like just, it's a fucking story. Like get over it.
Yeah, I mean, it's also weird to me because
I thought the
don't-
controversy with her was going to be the whole like toxic relationship that's being sort of romanticized.
Well, yes, that's also a part of it.
It's also a
too.
part of it, but I think more so than that on the relationship side of things, it's also the whole lolicon argument.
Oh, for
right?
sure.
Yeah.
That she's way too young and they're sexualizing a 16-year-old.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing of like, as you're reading, I'm like, what happened to her that she would behave this way?
Oh, that's dark.
Because
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
yeah, that's it's like, okay, if this is a 16-year-old, which
I
I guess
mean,
is old enough, but it's like
exact-
making all of these like sexual things. I'm like, oh, so you've been wild. Or...
Okay, yeah, you figure
Best
out,
case scenario,
You got little
is-
Josh in you right there, Cody.
you
That was a
figure
little-
out it's a little like, you figure out like she's not that way with everyone, which is kind of interesting too.
Wait, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, because
But-
like, it becomes a thing where, oh, okay, so this is just how she expresses like interest in a boy she has a crush. Like I saw all that. So, but like up until then, like this doesn't seem like appropriate behavior for you.
It isn't,
Yeah.
but
Which-
at the same time, I know 16. I was once one, and I
also,
knew them.
the reality
and
is
it was pretty crazy.
There is
half of the
way-
shit that they said.
I mean,
Yeah, so
In reality.
I mean, because I think
Yeah.
you've even talked about it on the podcast that you weren't necessarily the most out there 16-year-old, but you
No.
had friends, I'm sure,
Yes.
that talked about their experiences, and I'm sure they were they
Allowed.
didn't hold anything back.
No. Yeah, so that's why I'm just
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that's the thing. Like, as I like. The whole thing about boy locker room talk, I've never experienced that, but I have heard like girls like talk, and it is like that is what people think boys talk about.
Would you agree with that though? Would you agree that like girls, not all the time, but like in high school,
yes.
really?
You don't even have to. You don't have
Yeah,
to
it's
yeah.
no one talks about it, but it's like I have never.
Because
had
guys
the
like
kinds of
joke about
conversations.
it because like maybe they're not doing that type of stuff, but girls
Yeah.
definitely are
Wow.
because they can.
Yeah, I mean they can, is that, and that's what it boils down to.
But like,
yeah.
it is like, okay, obviously this is people that are 16 and
Yeah.
in high school are reading this, and there's
Yeah.
grown people attracted to a 16-year-old drawing. So it's like, and honestly, like this series is very much that. If you're looking for lewd,
remember-
you're gonna get it.
You remember that Transformers movie where they have a whole scene devoted to explaining why that guy can date an underage girl, and he pulls up a card that has the law in the United
I
States.
do not recall.
It was
What?
there's a very bizarre scene in a Transformers movie where Mark Wahlberg is like, you can't be dating my daughter. She's 17 and you're like 23, and he's like, he pulls up a card that says, actually, as long as you started dating but when you were both underage, it's illegal. And you're like,
Why would you write that into the script?
well, They
thought it was a good idea.
There was because the scene ends and Mark Wahlberg just happened to be like, okay, I guess you're just gonna have sex with my underage daughter. So like the point of it is either how absurd this scene is, or the point is the director was actually bringing this law to people's attention.
The director was passionate about it,
which I didn't consider the negative consequence of it. I was thinking I thought best case scenario, the point of this is the director's going, that's fucked up, right?
No.
I didn't
put it on the
consider it
big
him being
screen.
legally it's fine, guy. I didn't consider that either.
So he's promoting grooming.
Yeah. So let's just to remind, this isn't just a Japanese thing.
Well, yeah, and I think so what is
Riverdale? What the fuck?
Riverdale's another example of over-sexualizing high school kids in America.
Literally.
Yeah, I mean it's a tale as old as time in every culture.
Yeah, and I
Dazed
think
and Confused.
Yeah,
and I think it's important, obviously, to
what One Flew Over the Cuckoo Clock.
Cuckoo's Nest.
Cuckoo Nest.
Yeah. I do like your title better though.
I do.
Yeah,
it fits it more.
It made sense because it's like the clocks work. That's the one with Jack Nicholson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't the premise of that the reason he's like, oh, I had sex with like a 16-year-old and I had to just pretend to be crazy, and they sort of like gloss over it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But it's casually dropped in a lot of media whenever someone's like, yeah, whatever.
It really is, which I guess is no shocker then that all these guys in Hollywood turn out to be, monsters.
No one had any right to be upset or shocked. When
they had no right to be shocked at least. At the
Yeah.
very
Just
least.
so
you have
many
you have a right to be
fucked
upset. Not
Yeah.
Shocked is the word.
But yeah, so I think what it comes down to is which I think we all agree on, that just because you have drawn hentai or doujins in the past doesn't mean that you can't write something more wholesome or something different.
And
I don't think there's anything wrong
understandable
with that. Yeah.
if you're an artist, that's a way to make money.
There's
to
a
go
lot
down
of
that avenue.
mangaka that start that way too, and then they branch out to this. But this is just an extension of those feelings.
And I think what it is what makes it different is that work is more questionable.
Yes.
And it does have a lot of younger girls in it.
Yes.
In those things too.
Yes.
That's kind of what they're known for, is doing that lolicon type of doujin hentai
See, that's
series.
where it gets foggy in the water, because it's
then
like
So
culture.
he's gotten better by having a 16-year-old?
I mean, I guess it's
not better.
I guess it's at least in Japan legal, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I understand the controversy. I think people get outraged too easily. I'm not saying that this isn't warranted on some level, but
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. That's why I wanted to give you all the information before.
It does get, it adds a lot.
Trigger
of
warning.
context to
Yeah.
this. Which is
trigger warning.
because controversy aside and kind of weird scenes aside, I thought there was an interesting story starting to be told here.
Towards the end.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
Starting
definitely.
to be told being the key word, and towards the end, yeah.
Which is how Volume 1 usually does work, where they set up a story and it gets you interested enough to halfway through I was like, oh, that's what this is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was an odd choice to me that it took I think 3 chapters to get there. Three full chapters.
I thought it was like
rough.
Yeah.
It was fucking rough for me.
The type of one where it's like, okay, each chapter is this joke, and that's what it was. Each chapter is this joke, and then the overall story starts happening. The joke is she is teasing this guy who wants to be a manga artist and giving him honestly kind of sound writing advice.
I mean, there is there is good advice mixed in her bullying.
Yeah, the first one where she's like, where his character she's like, I'm a strong warrior, and he goes to touch her hands, but also we're in love, and she's like, she imitates. I thought that's why it was okay, because she's imitating this sexualized character, and he goes to go do it, and he doesn't. He's like, see, because you're not that guy. I was like, that's a really good point to bring up to people who not only self-insert, but then you self-insert you if you were cool.
Yeah. You got to be honest. Got to write what you know.
Which I thought was that's a nice thing that's being told here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then she's like, "You're not that," and then you just go further into it, you're a piece of garbage.
Then it
you're
turned
a piece
really
of trash.
mean.
Oh, you're crying.
Which
Oh
is
my
just what people
God,
say
you
to people in
fucking-
high school.
Yeah,
I've never experienced that. I've never heard anybody talk like that to anybody. I mean, maybe at a family party. Am I right?
I was
but
I'll be selective with my examples. But I have had someone I was walking home and I'm walking the opposite way, and just some girl I don't know just leans over and says, "You're an asshole," and keeps walking. I don't know who that is, but I just I mean, it was cartoonish what my high school was like.
The more I find out about your past, very cartoonish.
And it's like I get it. Like it's totally like bullying is like flirtatious to a certain extent. She takes it way too far and makes him cry. But it's relatable. You know it's like, oh yeah, like we're friends.
I've heard it, not to be like, I don't know, not to be any sort of way, but I've always heard it the other way around, that guys or boys will push girls and they'll bully them on the playground.
But that's
because
younger.
they like them. I guess that is maybe younger.
Yeah, it's like elementary, and the girls are like, what? And then it like gets older, and then it's like the girls doing that to the guys.
Yeah, that's the thing I've been told. I don't know anyone who like actually did that when they were a little boy. You did that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I know one person who did that as a little. Again, I only knew like 5 people. But
I did, and it's I was a child, but I was not proud of what I.
We're
did.
canceling you right now for
Canceled.
being
Hashtag.
an enemy towards women.
Well, I mean, who would be surprised?
Yeah, I was so mean. I saw her talk. I remember it so vividly, though. Like, I put something in her seat, like a sharp pencil or something.
Oh, wow. You were cartoonish in that way.
Yeah, and like, so, I mean, it didn't puncture her, but it was enough to be like, ow. And then I remember being like...
Set her on fire?
No, sing. I remember I had to be like 10 years old or something. And I sang like... this person and that person sitting in a tree, the whole KISSING thing. Very like a movie character kind of thing.
Yeah, I honestly never heard of this happening. I thought this was like one of those things that like people just lie about and then they just requote. But now so some boys actually did stuff.
Yeah, because
like
I liked her. I liked her a lot.
You did that, yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, I honestly had never heard of someone doing that before.
Yeah, it's weird that memory was just unlocked right now. But yeah, I mean, I guess it does really happen.
Well, yeah.
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 So anyway, this I want to make sure there's we're not forgetting to cover anything before we move on to the actual story. This anime or this manga is getting an anime, and it's going to be produced by Studio Telecom Animation Films, who did Tower of God.
Which I'm interested to see the anime because I don't know if they'll like keep it at the same level or like fucking up the ante or like tone it down. I have no idea what's to come.
There's stuff you could do to this if you dial down the ecchi stuff and you focus more on like the manga storytelling that's happening. Like that's a cool story.
Literally was like the thing that it makes it this. Let's just take a little bit out because it'd be so much better.
The teasing, it always like it just goes one page longer than it should have.
Literally, or like one fucking panel more. It's just like, bro.
It's always just like if you left it there and then it was like, oh, and he takes that into his writing and like each episode. I thought, which is why I was starting to like it. It was like, okay, he gets teased about something. And then he carries that over into his work, and then so each one ends with like his writing and stuff getting a little bit better. He starts doing this, and this. I would watch that.
Yeah, I think you guys are absolutely right. How it's just one page or one panel too much, and it's a little over the edge every time. But let's talk about the story now. Let's just go through it briefly. There's not a whole lot to talk about as far as like chapter by chapter, but I think because like you said, it is kind of self-contained short stories, all of which circle or focus on a different way that she's bullying him. She's bullying him about his manga, and then another, it's all focused around his drawing, I guess, but she makes him cry, loans him or gives him her handkerchief, like, you're gonna need this, buddy.
Because you cry a lot.
Yeah. But then, here's what I want to talk about really is, then it kind of turns, and there's that scene where he sees her at a diner, and she doesn't know that he's there, and she doesn't know that he's there, vice versa. And so when you guys got to this point in the story, were you like me, thinking like, I don't know how I feel about the series, more on the I'm outside, or were you guys starting to come around to it?
It's like little glimpses of like, I want to like this. I just know that I just don't see it getting like any different. I mean, like, it's just like, one of those like, I like this part, and then it's just the same thing every 5 pages, and like, this is a good part, and then it's the same thing I just feel like that's gonna be this series unless it proves me wrong. I mean, that's how I just felt in the first volume. Like I did like that part, and I was like, this is refreshing not to be teased. You feel like you're the one being like bullied because you're like, I'm fucking reading this.
The diner scene felt like, okay, like it's hitting the appropriate scene here, which is that she does behave differently around him than she does other guys. The dialogue where the girls are like, yeah, we were trying to set you up with that. I was like, that seems like more like, yeah, like real high school dialogue. You know, they're like, and then she's like, I don't care about you. I don't care about you. I was like, that's okay. So there's some like depth here and like, oh, okay. So she's in denial of her feelings, doing schoolyard bullying type stuff.
Yeah.
It's more like I got the vibe of her because she's like kind of popular. Like she's a popular girl at school. So I got the vibe of like a popular girl bullying like a fucking like nerd guy who has like, she knows that he doesn't have any like friends. You haven't seen him talk to anyone else but her. So she maybe probably saw him alone and she's like, oh yeah, I'm going to make this fool stronger.
I mean, look, in hindsight,
the number one manga.
Yeah, mangaka.
Yeah. In hindsight, now I can see it, right? There is that scene where they first meet where she takes notice of him and she her eyes kind of do this thing where she's like, oh.
Does someone who takes the manga that or he like falls or something, he's writing a manga and it falls into the hands of a group of girls and they all like tease him, oh, you suck, blah, blah, blah. And then, but she like reads it, so I thought I was like, oh, so she's actually secretly into this kind of stuff. Yeah. And she doesn't want to say, she's like, oh, you're gonna be my senpai. I was like, oh, so like she wants him to teach her how to do stuff like that, and she doesn't want to like flat out say like, I actually have always wanted.
She doesn't want to come out as a nerd to her cool friends.
That's how I took that scene.
Senpai is just like that's what you call people that are like a grade above you in Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, like, okay. I thought it was
someone that's older than you in like high school is like your senpai.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's been misconstrued.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was going to be that for a second too, though. I kind of thought it was going to be this like, I'm too afraid to admit who I really am around my
I would have liked
friends.
that. I would have liked that way much better.
But it was not that at all.
She's like,
at all.
Baka, you should do better character studies. You're a real Baka for not including this character's backstory. Blah, blah, blah,
It's too
blah.
nice.
Not that I
It's
care
too
or
nice.
anything.
No, dude,
I thought it was
nice.
going to be that.
She's a sadist. Like she's pure
tears him
evil.
to shreds. And that scene in the diner, I don't think it's not like it's not a spoiler. I don't think, right? This like
I don't know.
Should we give a spoiler?
I mean,
we already said it.
We discussed a lot, and if you're like, maybe I'll check this out. I guess at this point, you know, check it out and come back.
Yeah, because this is where it turns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, for the heck of it.
Yeah. Why not?
How do I go about this?
Oh, I think she has one in mind.
I don't know what to say. It's
you
spoiler
know.
time, you fucking dumbass bitches.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That was really good, actually. I like that a lot. So the reason the spoiler, and not because I like humiliation.
Okay.
I like it a lot.
I like that a lot.
Wow, that was really good.
That was really good. One more take.
Yeah, can we do that again? Yeah, so the only reason the spoiler warning is there is because it does become a different story, at least to me, after this point, where she meets these guys.
A little bit.
I mean, a little bit.
It really just gives you a glimpse of hope of the future.
Well, it gives me insight into her. And, like, she's not this one-dimensional bully anymore.
Okay.
She's a complex character now.
Yeah.
She's a real person now.
Yeah.
Because she has emotions and she's conflicted and she's in denial, right? And those are real things. And before that, I thought she was just some caricature of a mean person.
Yeah, straight up. And I liked that. This was the most I laughed during the whole series. Is just like, oh, he's in for it now. She's gonna tear him apart, and she's just like, oh, I don't get it.
What I love about that moment though is that she's not only is she not mean, but she doesn't lie either. I really like that a lot. I expected. Going back to what directions we expected this to go, I expected her to flat out like take the headphones out when she was listening to that guy's music and to say,
"Oh my God, it's like so good.
Yeah.
You're like so talented."
She was just like, "Fuck you,"
and she was like, I don't really think this is for me. Just the most like, put together."
And the guy's like, "Oh," and then like the other friend is like, "Yeah, like we both." We're trying to hook up with you, and he says something involving his penis, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh no! He says that he's never touched a boob before, implying he wants to grab her titty in the middle of a diner.
Yeah,
and then the guy's like, "Oh, this little now she's really gonna give it to this guy."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "You shouldn't say that to people when you first meet them."
And he's just
like,
like,
"I barely know you." Yeah.
Like, fuck off.
Yeah, and I like that a lot, like because it shows her as she's not mean for the sake of being mean. She's not mean to everybody. Number one.
Yeah, it was the start of like, oh, the reason she's so comfortable like teasing him as sexual as she does is she knows he's not gonna do anything.
That is key. That is the key to the success. Because like if you did this with anyone else, it's okay. Yeah. Any other high school boy would be like, yes, this is my dream.
That's true.
Yeah.
So it's like she knows that the one time she did it, it's just not gonna lead anywhere else.
And
it's just funny.
that's where the boob thing kind of comes in, because the guy straight up asks, "Can I touch your boob?" Basically in a roundabout
which is a
kind of way.
solid go-to move.
Yeah,
When in doubt, just ask. You know,
just ask. I mean, ask definitely.
for sure,
not
ask.
in doubt. Like ask both ways. But you know,
no,
it's like it's a go-to.
Yeah.
Only in doubt.
no.
Oh,
always that. No. So I think it immediately cuts after that to this guy being so upfront, so bold, to her being upfront and bold. Because she knows, like you said, that he's not going to take her up on it. He's not going to do that because in a way, like she feels safe around him, or she does think he's a good guy or an innocent guy.
And I mean, I've seen that in media a couple of times where it's like the tease, but then like there'll always be a scene where the guy like takes her up on the tease and she goes, "Oh, I don't." It's a weird thing. I've seen in enough media to be like, oh, it's one of these type things.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of see that with I can't tell you how far my eyes rolled back with the crotch scene.
Well, and let me say this.
Which was the one, that was a thing where it's like, social structures aside, it's like, that's a fun twist.
I liked it.
Of that typical scene.
Yeah, that's
which
why.
starts with them discussing
that scene.
As a cliche in manga, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is, because he's reading a manga or doujin.
No, it's a manga that he bought.
Oh, but it's ecchi.
Yeah, she's like, oh, so you watch this type of shit? And he's like, it's just a part. All anime have fan service. It's not a big deal. You fight. She's like, no, you
Yeah.
And then he accidentally touches the boob, and then
she's like, is that what you want your first sexual experience to be like? Are you gonna accidentally, are you gonna fall onto a boob and then she falls onto his crotch, basically? But there are things I really like about this series. I don't think it was like funny necessarily.
It was just like, oh. And then they're like, oh. And she was like, okay, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
That was the final thing. Like, oh, she doesn't actually mean these things she's saying. She just thinks it's fun that she gets to like say it around this guy and there's no risk of it. And also, that hand, that's one of those things. Was like, oh, yeah, that's kind of. I was like, that's pretty realistic.
Well, I don't know. You guys read this online. I don't know if you guys read the bonus chapter that's in the published version, but or the physical copy, where there's this like Valentine's Day short story.
I did read that one. Yeah, I did like that's literally what kind of won me over towards the end there, because it was just like so stupid. Like this whole fucking thing, I was like, this is fucking dumb. This is some ecchi bullshit. Like not even that good. And then at the end, I was like, oh, this is starting to feel more like a rom-com.
Yeah.
Because the build-up is what really...
And that's something that comes into play, as I kind of read more about the series, that's something that comes to play more and more often, where she gets super jealous and she starts to express that by being super mean to him and to, like, other people around him, people who are giving him this attention. And so, like, there is potential for, like, a really heartfelt kind of, like, will they, won't they? Almost like a it's like a super horny Kaguya-sama, but not even.
It's literally Tatagi-san. Like you guys have, I'll show you like a clip. It's like literally this show. I mean, this manga is just that on steroids. Like they're so wholesome and it's so cute, and it's like, oh, they're like kind of in love, but not really. And this is just like one-sided. Like, bam.
Yeah.
You're going to horny police.
Horny
jail. Bonk.
Yeah. Did you okay, so after the diner scene, right? That's where we get into everything. I'm looking at everything through a different lens now, and then we get into a couple more like bullying scenes.
Classic.
But at least now,
and he's been using her as a drawing thing instead of drawing fruit.
Well, and again, back to the encouraging point. She does encourage him, like, hey, just because you're too ashamed or embarrassed to draw a girl from the waist down doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. Like, I'm giving you permission to do it. It's gonna improve your art. Like there are points where I'm like, damn, she does care about him. And then the whole reward thing where she's teasing him about if he does a really good job, she'll give him a reward. And then he closes his eyes and yeah. She flicks him or whatever. But then at the end, and this is like where the story kind of ends, is he draws her while she's sleeping and does a good enough job, I guess. She tells him to close his eyes again, and he's apprehensive, and she leans in. She gives him a little peck on the cheek.
Was not expecting that in the first volume.
Yeah,
I thought it'd
sweet.
be, yeah. Yeah. It's. I feel like he's like, okay, I get this person now. Versus like the first meeting of like so ridiculous. Like no one should ever talk to someone like that they first met.
Never.
And it just plays into like obviously like humiliation. Like he's older than she is, and it's just this underclassman who he doesn't fucking know just talking shit on him. Like that must feel horrible, and especially because it's a girl. I mean, if it was a guy, he'd just be like, okay, fuck you. But it's just like
I don't know
a girl. There's a different type of humiliation when a girl's talking shit to you.
Yeah, I don't know the age of our audience. I'm sure, there's all kinds of people who watch our show, hopefully.
Hopefully not under 18.
But if
not under 18.
But it would be impossible to know because everyone just lies that they're
teenager.
But if you are, or, maybe around that age, don't ever talk to anybody like this. Don't, especially if you like them. Never. This is not a tactic that works.
Yeah.
Well,
Cody.
Well, yeah.
Very questionable. It's not. You would be mad.
What is kind
if
of
someone talked to you like that first meeting?
I'm honestly like, I'm not gonna say, but there are two examples. Like, no, worse stuff has happened.
Well, what's kind of strange though to that point is when you flip when you swap genders, there is this whole like, which is stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
There is this whole like negging culture, right? Which is like basically guys being told to bully women because that's gonna make them, I don't know, fall for them because they feel like endeared or I don't know, they feel like they're going to suddenly want to seek their approval.
I got the opposite. I turned down a guy and he was in like a group of friends and he would bully me.
But maybe
Which
that's
is how
negging.
that is a Hail Mary to win you back, though.
No. No. It was the same thing. It was like a fucking senior guy who I thought we were really close friends. I don't get when people flirt with me. It's just not in my radar. I'm like, oh, we're being friendly. This is fun. And it's like, it's so stupid. But yeah, this guy was just, it's just like,
Yikes.
Yikes department.
It's gotten me in trouble, honestly. Like, fuck, it just sucks. But he was like, oh, let's go to prom together as a group of friends. We're all going to go with a friend because I was friends with the seniors and juniors because of drama. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, cool. Yeah, I'm so excited. And then he was like, oh, are you still talking with like Jackson? And I was like, yeah, but we're all going as friends. Like, it's fun. And he was like, oh, no, if you're talking to Jackson, I don't want to go with you. Like, last minute. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he asked my other freshman, like, girlfriend to go with them. And then I find out later he's just like wanting to like fuck.
I imagine at a certain point you kind of get used to it, but initially you have to feel so betrayed.
I felt super betrayed. And then after he would just like be mean to me. Like be mean to me. Like in front of a group of friends, he'd be like, oh, you're so fucking stupid. And I'd be like,
well, I don't know what book,
I've
what pickup
also,
artist
and I was a
book
freshman,
boys
like,
read, but
I've also heard stories of that like just working.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I know someone who like, oh yeah, that guy like he like groped me in the middle of the hall. I was like, what happened? Oh, we started dating. I was like, oh okay.
No.
So
yeah, it's like there's this thing of like,
I mean,
hey,
so,
Megan,
I guess sometimes that's not a lesson to take away, but it's like that's not unrealistic that works.
Yeah, like it's like me saying like, oh Megan, what a cool shirt. I can't believe your grandma let you wear it to school, and it's supposed to be.
Okay, that was funny. I'd laugh at that. I'd be like, good one. This is not a grandma. Clearly a collared shirt.
Your grandma not gave it to you, but let you wear that. The implication being,
good one, Josh. You fucking dumbass.
You're dissing her grandma's fashion sense, and creating the narrative that she's also.
That was not a good example at all. You could
of Megan's fashion sense.
Woo, it's getting hot in here.
Yeah, that was not mean. That was like the most like fucking elementary retort that you could give. Probably because you did bully women.
No, I'm not good at it.
You did. Yeah, you did. No, hey, I'm gonna put a fucking sticker on her fucking chair because I like her.
No, it's because I'm not good at it.
I'm not.
If I was good at it, if it was something that I did all the time, then I would have been able to pull it out of thin air.
Like a magic
I'm happy you grew out of that. Because
I never was in it.
You were though. You were deep in it.
Once. I did it one time.
Speaking of deep in it, I thought that was a good segue. No?
Megan, I have so much respect for you.
Thank
right now.
you.
I loved it. I loved it. No, I genuinely.
You guys looked at me like shocked.
No, I mean, it is an initial shock when you hear it, but then it's like, I fucking...
You guys are fucking sexist, okay?
No, I fucking loved that.
Thank you.
But it hits you in waves, you know? It's like an initial shock, but then you're like...
Okay, I wish I could replay. Can you, that be the clip? Just your guys' faces to that immediate reaction.
Yeah. We're both like, whoa.
Good.
But speaking of...
You know, I'll give my example because I think it is like, yeah, I am.
Oh, fuck. Here we go.
Yeah, like,
Hey, if there's any women watching, be careful. You know, wet... what?
Huh?
Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was good.
by never mind, he means he didn't know where he was going with it.
Okay, we don't
No,
have
I was
to.
going to say...
We know what you were going to say.
I don't know what he was going to say. But
Make sure to put down a wet floor sign because
It's
Cody's
not-
about to pick up on you right now.
What bothered me is I'm like, yeah, like, I don't think that's unrealistic. And I'm like, okay, I look like him. Oh, no.
Yeah.
'Cause I got teased a couple times. People would be like, women would be like, hey, you want to do this? I'm like, no.
What?
One person
what?
who was older than me, she liked to tease me a lot. And like, she was like, oh, can you help me with my homework? I'm like, yeah. And then she just like grabbed my crotch in the middle of class. And I was just like, please don't. You know, and so I was like, honestly, like the reaction that this guy had, I was just like, yeah. So I was like,
Whoa.
That's sexual harassment.
yeah.
Yeah, which is basically what this manga should have been called.
Honestly, yeah. And if
Yeah.
you were like, the roles are reversed.
Yeah, it should
And
be called...
men are bad.
The title should be "Don't Sexually Harass Me, Miss Nagatoro." That's a
Yeah.
long title, but
If the roles were reversed, it would be already canceled if this was a guy
Yeah.
bullying a girl, and it would.
Now that a guy smacked my ass once, like sexually, he tried hitting on me.
It's kind of hot.
Yeah, I mean that is a
Okay,
little
there we
hot. Yeah. yeah, I'm aroused.
Yeah, that's what my high school was like. Everyone teased me.
I mean,
Yeah, but
that's
also
not
wanted to fuck you,
surprising.
apparently.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
true. You've mentioned multiple times. You're like, this girl wanna fuck me, and I said no.
Yeah, you went to like fucking the Horny Academy or I don't know where, but it seems like everybody wanted to fuck Cody wherever you went to school.
You should go back there.
Well, you should go back there. Oh yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why it's like I don't think they. Well, I mean, maybe the guy did, but like I think that she was just like
You should wait out all your options.
using the like, oh, this is a pretty meek guy power dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. I mean, I've had a lot of fun on this episode, guys. But I think it's important to get to the very end.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean those are the examples. Josh, you bullied women, and I was bullied by them.
I mean, for the sake of time, Cody.
For the sake of
Sure.
time, do you mean like you physically assaulted them?
I didn't.
Oh.
It was cute.
Oh.
Imagine a grown me doing that, and it's assault. But imagine a cute little Josh, about yay high, 10 years old.
You were yay high at 10 years old?
Well, I was.
Pretty short.
Give or
Like
take.
Megan sized at 10.
Now you get a high five. Fuck yeah, dude.
Average height.
Right.
That's
yes.
what we got.
Levi Ackerman's height,
Actually, he's 5. Oh, I am 5'3".
and he's the same. He's the same
We're
height.
the same
right?
height.
Yeah. wait.
Both malnourished.
Oh,
Okay,
you
that was-
motherfucker!
And similar to
Now
this-
you open the fucking gates,
Yeah.
Cody. Now you fucking open the gates. How?
There we go.
How?
Go off, Queen. Go off.
I don't know what else.
I mean,
to say.
it's just accurate.
I was
not
gonna say
accurate.
just like the
Were you
manga.
not malnourished?
Yeah, look at those
Oh.
gains, bro.
Cut to the gain cam.
Yeah, cut to
the gain cam.
I was gonna say, much like this manga, Cody, that went a little too far. You went a little too far with the
Yeah.
malnourished thing.
It's accurate though.
Megan is healthy. Yeah, she's.
He was talking about. He was bringing it back to me before I was born. Premature
Oh,
joke.
a
premature.
preemie joke.
And I wasn't
You didn't
even
get
that
it,
small
which is
of
the
a
problem.
I wasn't even that small of a preemie.
Right.
Like I could have been like 4
No,
pounds.
you're like a mega preemie.
I was 5 pounds, and it's not that big of a deal. A lot of babies are 5 pounds.
Does everyone know
5
their
pounds
baby
sounds
weight?
big.
Do you know how
Yeah, exactly. I was a big
you call her
preemie.
fat?
Are you calling me
dude.
fucking fat?
No, I don't know what my baby weight is, dude. I don't
Are
even
you
know what my
calling-
regular adult weight is.
No, we know what you're.
You have a scale.
I do have a scale, and I never step on it.
It's
Really?
broken.
No.
We should do a weigh-in after this.
We can absolutely not do that because I don't want to know how much I weigh.
I
Because
bet
it'll
I weigh
affect-
more than Cody.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
I mean, I think it's true.
I think most
I think
people
it's
would
more
take that as an
muscle.
insult, but I think for you, you want to weigh more than Cody, right?
I think I definitely do weigh more than Cody.
And that'd make you happy.
I'm
if
a
you-
Yeah.
solid 145.
Yeah, you're like 180 easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine. That'd be cool.
Yeah, if you were just shredded.
Yeah. Just like,
I mean, it's reality.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
truth
This
is often funny.
manga,
You're right.
This-
Truth is often funny.
I did write a lot. Talking to you guys made me realize more about the story because at first it's so surface and it's just lewd to be lewd and it's okay. Don't read my notes.
Really?
It's fun to be fun and we get it. I just felt
What did you?
okay. I wanted to enjoy this series more than I actually did. If you like more ecchi, this is for you. If not, check out Tatagi-san or Zaki-san. Better, wholesome, feels more romantic. Didn't get rom-com vibes till the end of the volume, which may encourage readers to keep going. Not sure if I'll read or watch because I've seen it done before. Better version.
Whoa, that last sentence says it all.
You guys,
Seen it done better in other places. Uzaki-chan, by the way, is super funny.
it's super funny and it's a good mix between Tatagi and this, where it's like, okay, yeah, they're it is what it is. They're funny,
Because I haven't
friends.
seen the Uzaki one, but like I've seen like clips and it was like those jokes. I'm like, that was good.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything was funny in this.
Exactly, except for
agree.
the diner scene. I was like, that's pretty funny
Yeah.
because it's a different take on what they're. It's just you're just seeing them at first. You're just seeing their back and forth. So I'm hoping that maybe with added characters it gets better. But I looked at the art for the added characters and they all look like they're gonna be psychos,
Yeah.
which is kind of a bummer. So they're gonna it's gonna become a harem of teasing this guy. I'm not into that.
That'd be so great if it just becomes more and more just clearly this guy's fetish, and then and there's like, and mangakas are so dumb and stupid.
The receipts match the outcome of this manga, and I'll just say that.
What?
Take the receipts of this guy being like kind of creepy with his tags and fucking brutal
that's
shit.
What receipt means?
Yeah. It's a new slang. It's actually not that new, but it's new for you.
Yeah, it's new for you. You probably just heard it right now. Receipts mean like okay, like what's it?
Screenshots or
Screenshots,
like the proof.
Proof. Yeah, like
Proof.
show me the
Okay.
proof.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
the
that-
receipts, the physical. Like I have proof.
So the evidence
Yes, evidence
is
yes.
proof of the thing.
Proof of
Yes.
purchase, like a receipt.
Okay.
Yes.
And when did this happen?
Like a year ago, I feel like maybe longer.
Nah.
That's pretty new then, right?
Probably like
2 years.
Yeah,
ago.
2 years.
2 years,
Time
okay.
is like once you get
What is
older,
time?
it's like 2 years
Just
ago.
Time keeps on slipping.
That's a song I do like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time
I've gotta,
is on
yeah.
slipping.
Into the future. I do like that song.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Megan. This series is fine. It has its heartfelt moments. It has its cute moments, but they're very few and far between.
It has hints of a pretty clever story happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It has, that there are like that type of scene, and it is like that was a different twist on it that no one's done before. So it's like this offered something new.
Don't clear your throat like that.
It's just it's one of those things where you're just reading and you're like, I don't know, but where she's like, oh, here's my swimsuit, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay.
And then the last scene of her in the bathtub, like,
Yeah.
why did we need to see that?
That
in
is
this,
for
you know?
the audience that wants that.
100%,
That's why you read
100%.
it. So
And because the main character Senpai in the story says that he only saw from shoulders up. Now either A, he's lying about that to make her feel more comfortable, or B, he really did, but the mangaka was just like, I'm gonna include the whole
no,
thing.
Because
he
if he
definitely
did-
saw all of it.
The
Yeah.
thing to do would be to only draw
Exactly.
that because of perspective. right?
Exactly.
No,
Yeah.
it's like oh,
Well,
I didn't see anything, but like I saw everything. You know.
You wrote it's lewd to be lewd and not cute, which I think that's the issue. Is it should have been a cute, funny story, but it is very lewd.
I wrote senpai more like sen cry. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah,
talk
get
about
a
the scene
handkerchief.
where she makes him cry. I mean,
You mean every scene?
yeah.
Yeah.
You mean the first 3 chapters?
There is the nice thing. Oh yeah, because she already made him cry. Because there is a scene where she sees him crying and she's like, oh, maybe that was a bit too much.
Yeah,
I thought that was nice.
I've heard the crying shit does fade out towards the beginning and end of volume 2. People that read volume
pretty
1 are
far.
like, this is a lot and this is very intense, but volume 2 it gets better. I mean, I read kind of some of it in the beginning. It's just like fan service. Like we get it. Like you like drawing her.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. It just feels like I need
Sure.
to put this character on the page and not have her implemented in the story, which why the diner scene was so refreshing, because it's like, oh yeah, this is actually a fucking character, not just someone's like original character that they like to lewd.
And maybe you hit it on the head again. It's not that was a particularly great scene, but it was just refreshing amongst all the other lewd, content.
Give us a break. It's like you're pushing it in her face, shoving it down her throat.
Yeah. And so I guess for me, in summation, I don't think. Look, I understand why someone would like this series. I think it's definitely for a specific group of people.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And I'm not saying it's the worst thing I've ever read. It's by no means like I said. There are some good parts. There are some good moments. They're few and far between, and it's not a terrible series. It can be fun. It can be a lot of things, and there are a lot of interesting swaps, and there are parts of it that I really enjoy. The reverse kind of the groping scene and the putting yourself into the manga and over kind of compensating and bullying someone who you actually like because you don't know how to deal with it. Like, there are a lot of good things about this series. It's not all bad. But it's just not. I just, like Megan, you said it perfectly. I've seen and am aware of series that do it better. And not to say that this is bad. It's just
not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it's not something I can really see myself going much further into.
No.
Yeah, it's like the dark twin of Komi Can't Communicate.
Oh no, yeah. People are like Uzaki, Komi, and her are like the trifecta.
Because that's what, like, the facial expressions should be like fun and cute, like in Komi, but there's so much like sexual energy being put into them.
It's just like, if literally maybe it was 4 or 5 notches down on the lewd fan service shit, it would be actually enjoyable to read.
Yeah,
I just felt uncomfortable reading.
Or get a physical copy and rip the last page of every chapter out.
Yeah.
It like toned down a little bit if the skirt was a little bit longer. If it was, or maybe like the guy like he just did like porn and he just didn't know to not, like, that's just his art style now. So he just can't not draw like that.
Maybe.
And like he's like, oh, I took writing classes and writing porn, so I figure I just carry that over.
I definitely think that Komi is way, to me, obviously cuter, and it's something I think I'm probably more inclined to continue reading.
Yes.
I do know there was a short series where it was just that, like, it was like people going through the beginnings of porn but then like no porn happens. I was like, if I saw like an adult version of this and it was just these people in this like porn world and they never even kiss, they never even do anything, and they're actually like kind of like shy around it, I think that'd be like a fun story.
I mean, it could be fun.
This story,
if they were older, and
if you did a couple of changes, I would really like it. I like the idea of she's like guiding him in art style and like being more honest with his writing, and then like the idea of like, oh, maybe he'll like tone down the bustiness of every female character, and like, oh, there's like different body types that he like starts doing that. Like, I really would like to see that.
Yeah. I don't know. This
love is hard. Sorry, I just want to say
love is
hard for an otaku is what?
No, keep going.
What?
No, you did nothing wrong. I'm curious.
Oh, okay. Love is hard for an otaku is like literally, because you just sparked my memory, like 2 people, like they're friends and like they're like kind of bullying each other because they're both weebs and they don't want people to find out. And it's so good and it's so romantic and they're so cute.
I think you showed us that. Am I wrong?
That's
I don't
the one
think so.
Where it's the guy's like a weeb, and then the
wife
is like
no,
a
that's
busy
something
bitch.
else.
No, it's
But
like these two.
that's what I was thinking of.
These 2 friends, they work in an office together and they've been friends since like they've been kids, and she's like, oh, it's so hard to find someone who likes my interests. I don't tell them my interests because then they just run away because they think I'm a weeb, and he's like, I don't really care. I mean, I'll just be myself. And then they're like, why don't we just get together? He's like, oh, I guess we hang out all the time.
Oh, that's an option?
Is that the one where the meme is from? Because like they marry in like the first episode?
No,
something?
that's a different one. That's like
Okay.
a marry. That's like a my wife is
So
there's so many.
Yeah, there's a lot. So say
variations.
the name of that one again, and then the name of the. I mean, obviously Uzaki-chan.
Uzaki-chan, Teasing Master Tadagi-san. It's like the wholesomest version of this, and it's an anime and manga, and it's so cute, and I'd rather rewatch that than read any more of this.
Yeah.
And Uzaki-chan is a good medium between the lewdness and the wholesomeness, and Love is Hard for an Otaku, which is just two adults in the workforce, teasing it up and being cute.
Yeah, there's a lot of options.
Yeah, well, me and Josh started working together, and it's a lot like that.
Yeah, maybe someone will write a BL.
Oh,
That's already a thing.
Some sort of creative genius would write a BL. That honestly, from what I've read, I'm like, that's pretty funny.
You read it?
No, I'll tell you more about it, and you will hear
God,
more
his
about
face is
this in upcoming episodes.
No,
I know a few of the
God.
details of mine and Cody's BL, and it's pretty great so far.
I'm actually like, that's funny. Like
I'm glad it's about you guys.
Oh yeah, no, you're in
it's
it.
a BL.
But you're more you're a background.
Yeah.
character.
I'm like with a sign, like
Yeah, you're shipping us.
Yeah.
I think in the story. But yeah, so that's it for Don't Toy With Me or Don't Bully Me, Miss Nagatoro. And if it's something that you've already read, let us know what you think about it. If you are familiar with any of the controversy, where do you stand on all of that? And if it's something that you're curious about reading and you do decide to read because of anything that we talked about, let us know what you thought about it.
And speaking of bullying.
Okay,
What
I
is that?
already know where this is going,
I
and I'm
can
not happy.
hear.
I'm genuinely not
I can
happy.
hear something.
Well, this is a great segue.
Because I remember we talked. Someone mentioned in the comments about how they didn't like you besmirching the good name of possums, which are just lovely animals, and
They're terrifying animals, and we've been over it a million times.
And
What is
they
that?
said, I don't know, because I remember they said like they were hesitant to be a Patreon member because Josh like can't get past looks. And he only can see like the most appropriate, like all beauty must be conventional. That's a famous quote you have.
Okay. Speaking of receipts, let's see those.
Well, I have a receipt for something.
I know you do, and I'm not.
But and
very
I can
fucking happy about
I can hear it on the transponder now.
I don't like it. It's fucking terrifying. I'm glad you guys are getting a real kick out of it, but it's I
In
can't
the spirit
even,
of teasing.
In the spirit of teasing and bullying, Cody, has some sort of camaraderie with a commenter who, for the record, I'm still
don't you
team,
love me?
that guy.
Why don't
but
you love me? I'm so cute. Look at my fur.
But Cody took it upon himself to buy this this garbage and pass it off as some sort of like signal. He's signaling to this commenter that they're friends or that they're cool or something. This is something he thought would be funny. And for those of you who are just listening, Cody bought a plush possum, and I'm purposely not looking at it right now because it will send shudders down my spine. There was genuinely a moment, and this is 100% genuine. There was genuinely a moment before we started recording where Cody had it on the floor, and I forgot that he had it, and I was looking for something, and I was taken aback. I almost fell backwards because
his face immediately got ready. And let this be a show that hey. We listen to our commenters and fans, and we're not just those. And speaking of doing that,
and speaking of doing that, let's keep bullying Josh, and let's read some comments. I'm glad Cody's having some sort of coughing fit right now. Yeah. Instant karma caught on camera. Look at who's red now.
Oh my God.
Let the air come back.
Yeah, and that's what bullying does to people. Yeah.
It gives them joy.
I can't with this thing, man.
So who wants to go first?
I mean, for the sake of like entertaining the idea and making a commenter happy, oh my God. put it somewhere where I
Oh look, Mama, I got some roadkill.
You can leave it on the table for now, but as soon as we're done recording, it's out of here.
It's kind of cute. It's kind of growing on me.
You can have it. You can have it. Anyway, welcome to the Wonder Circle, where we read comments and discuss them. Comments that you've left on our previous videos. Today we all have a comment picked. I don't know. Megan, you can go ahead and hit the button. And that's to let you know we're in the Wonder Circle now, baby. Yes. And we all have comments picked. Who wants to go first? Me, Megan, Cody? Who's going first?
I can go first by Dowd.
Okay.
Whose avatar is the darkness devil, and then that guy from Aqua Teen Hunger Force standing next to each other.
Oh, yeah, Carl.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. I just noticed that right now. That's I like stuff like that. Well, almost all of Fujimoto's work, including his one-shot, is about people trying to connect and seeking stability through insanity. He might be labeled as edgy mangaka, but it's what makes his stories so good at exposing character, especially when the tension goes down. And y'all getting better. I like the chemistry, especially when Cody giving insights, Josh doing good at leading the narrative, and Megan keeping the podcast interesting with her humor, which is great because that's exactly what we're trying to do. So it's nice having... a lot. Some of them, I'm like, if I would believe we're just doing this.
The comments,
we're commenting it ourselves because it's like, that was the exact goal of this dynamic.
Yeah, I think it's something we kind of fell into, but once we realized that that's what it was, we did start rolling with it. But it does nail sort of, what we all hopefully bring to the table. I that's a fucking great comment.
Yeah,
Shout out Dowd or Dog.
Just a quick note to the video games guy. We do read those. It's just I can't read all of that, but I do appreciate the feedback and everything because you're usually on point with.
Video games is if you're watching or listening, shout out Video Games. He just joined our Discord, which you could do too if you haven't already, and love the comments. But to read them all on the podcast, it would take up some time. But we do read them.
Just know
we do appreciate them.
We do we'll have a conversation about stuff, which we like the idea of criticism in any way, and you do a good balance of compliments and criticism because we get that critiquing something doesn't mean you hate it. It actually means you like it and you want it to improve.
Yeah.
So
there is a fine line though, and I think you walk it well. It's never mean spirited. It's always love this. Not a huge fan of that. But it's always there's always a reason for it, and I think it's just really well said.
Yeah, but I can't read the whole thing. I was debating, paraphrasing it. Just know, we're reading that stuff, and we do appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we do appreciate anyone who offers any criticism or compliments.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Megan, me or you?
I'll go. This one comes from Gulf Coast Ghoul.
The possum fella.
The possum fella. We did. If you watch this, we got you.
Yeah.
An idea for episodes. Maybe y'all can do volume one shot where you look at some of the authors you enjoy one shots before they were famous work. I recommend Yogen no Nayuta by Fujimoto since one of the characters shows up in Chainsaw Man. Also, Love is Blind by Fujimoto is cute too.
Oh.
And cute for Fujimoto.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
That'd be really cool.
I'd love to see
him go from this to this.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, we gotta that name is so on
point.
The
my
fact
God.
that we didn't jump to there, and we went puns farther down the road.
It took my breath away.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I am the name queen, and
you are.
You really showed your talents with this one.
Yeah, dude. Another peek behind the volume 1 curtain is that Megan's she's the name one.
Volume done, volume some.
Yeah. Volume redone.
Volume redone, which funny you mentioned that.
Funny I mentioned that,
huh? But volume 1 shot is God, well, we have to do that now.
Yeah. We have to do it. It's a great idea. And it's also really cool because I think they can be shorter, since it's going to be such a smaller sort of amount of reading. And I think, that's something that we definitely would like to do.
And we usually record our episodes in multiple takes because we just redo things. So the one shot, it will be, refreshing.
Imagine if every episode we had to reshoot the entire thing.
I think this whole thing we might have to reshoot.
Imagine if we've ever done that even once.
No.
Even once.
If we've had a conversation how to redo an episode.
Yeah, imagine.
Can you guys guess?
Yeah.
Comment and guess which one that we redid. Yeah, dude, I don't know.
You'll win something.
The fucking possum. How about that?
Oh, yeah, you'll win the possum.
There's
no way you can...
If I don't have to pay for shipping.
It's Gulf Coast Ghoul now.
Gulf Coast Ghoul.
I do miss Southern Drawl, though.
Yeah.
I think Southern Drawl was more fun.
But I like Gulf Coast Ghoul. Kind of reminds me of Fallout.
There is that. So, a lot of pros and cons, and that's what life is figuring out what's best.
I don't know anything about Fallout. So.
I don't know. When I see his profile picture, I'm just transported. You could feel the breeze in your hair.
Yeah.
The sea. You could smell
That's
it.
why the yacht club made sense, because I pictured him on a yacht.
On a yacht.
Yeah. No, I definitely
change your name.
I'm definitely a fan.
I like Gulf Coast Ghoul.
I just don't like what you bring out in Cody.
GCG. GCG.
What does that mean?
That's him, Gulf Coast Ghoul.
Does that mean something?
Yeah, does GCG mean something?
That's just shortened
Oh, I thought it was an acronym for something.
It is Gulf Coast.
Oh, I thought it was an acronym for something else.
Oh.
Oh. Wow, egg on my face. Huh? Another great comment. And for our final comment, which is my comment, I chose Exquisite Bearer. And that comment is finally, and again, this is one of those that Cody says that sounds like we wrote it ourselves. And I'm not reading this comment to like pat ourselves on the back. I just think it's a very good comment.
Our comments are the best.
I love
They're insane.
Like, no, I'll like recognize a user and I'm like, oh cool, this guy.
Yeah.
And there's like, oh, that guy's funny. I like there's pretty clear one.
It like lights up. Like the more like if you're ever like on the fence about commenting anything, because I know we have subscribers that have never commented before on anything that we've done, just fucking comment. Like we love it, and we will encourage you. Like
we'll screenshot them to each other, so like if we want to like
yeah, we have conversations about you guys. So like,
and it does feel like the cool thing about doing this is it does feel like we get to open up some sort of dialogue with you personally. And like Cody said, like when I see a specific, username come in on a video, I feel like I know that person, and I can associate them with other comments and
when video game like I view video games posting as like, oh, here's our review, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right, I dropped the ball on that. Whatever, it's fine.
But this comment says, finally, a YouTube content that talks about manga that does not just repeat what happens in the series, but actually analyzes and critiques what is happening based on one's opinions, while also comparing it to real-life experiences and other literature that depicts similar ideas to the said series. Love you, fam. Literally one of the YouTubers that I can listen to for hours on repeat and still don't get bored. Exquisite Bearer.
My heart.
Yes. Exquisite Bear, first of all, thank you so much for that amazing comment. And the reason I wanted to read it out loud is because exactly what Cody was talking about earlier. This is like our goal. This is like what we're trying to do. This is what we believe in. And we want to be able to cite the source material, and we want to be able to give you like a rundown of what happens throughout a series. But more so, we want to give you our thoughts and opinions on those series. And the fact that people are A, engaging with that, and B, actually going out and reading those series, like that means the world. And so I really felt like it was important to read that comment because it really hits on the head what we're trying to do. And if you think we're doing it, then that means hopefully we're doing an okay job. Yeah.
Hits home.
Yeah. And Cody, can you do me a favor? Can you turn volume 1 Chan back on? There's one more. Here, I got it, actually. Here, I got it. Yeah, enter the code. Yeah, enter the code. There's actually another comment here for volume 1 Chan, and let me pull it up.
Oh, I think I saw that one.
Yeah,
it's her first comment towards her.
Yeah, it's her first comment. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big moment. It's
Aww. Baby's first comment.
Now, this comment is from Bizarre Gold. Bizarre Gold, another great
He's the one who's usually got the banger funny one.
Yeah, Bizarre Gold, funny man. Or woman. Then funny person.
Bizarre.
Yeah. Bizarre Gold.
Volume 1 Chan, this one's for you. This is from Bizarre. This is from Bizarre Gold. I have a question for Volume 1 Chan. Do you know the sphere from To Your Eternity? I'm assuming is what he's talking about. Is it like a distant relative to you or something? I'm also just waiting for the episode where Megan has a cooking show where she cooks the guys like Denji did Makima. So, Volume 1 Chan, are you related to that orb from To Your Eternity?
Whoa, sorry. I guess I blacked out there for a second. I mean, I don't really remember anything about where I came from, so I guess we could be. I hope not, though, because that orb is pretty cute.
You mean when he's in his like boy form, right?
No, the orb. I mean, you saw the curves on that thing. I'm getting woozy just thinking about it.
Oh my god!
All right.
Kind of nice, breaking down shapeable boundaries.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess progressive of you,
it's my girl right here. Yeah. She knows what's up.
Yeah. She gets her game from me. I just want to.
Yeah. Sure. I'll let you have that one.
Yeah.
Because we did taunt you with the possum.
Put it down.
Yeah.
Put it down.
I was gonna have a system where, like, if I did this, like, if Cody looked at the circle, that's when I would like pull it up. We'd have like a back and forth, but we didn't want to like do that too much because I know this will be karma on my head.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have a coughing fit too. And
occurring to me that I think coffee triggers my asthma.
maybe drink less coffee.
You don't even drink that much. Okay, anyway, sorry.
I know. But I quit coffee.
Anyway,
I'm relapsing.
That's it for another episode of Volume 1. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Real quick, too, shout out to our Patreon members. Thank you guys so much. You guys make this show possible. You guys are amazing. You guys are the best. And even if you're not a Patreon member, you're awesome too. And you can become one by going to Volume 1 Pod or patreon.com/Volume1 Podcast. Thank you so much again. Now, all that's left to do is to get out of here on our outro that's always the same and never freaking changes. Cody's having another coffee fit over there.
I think that should be it. We should all just start.
Yeah, we should all just start coughing. And the reason I'm not reacting to his coughing before there's anything weird in the comments.
Yeah,
is because he does this. This happens a lot. And he tells people not to draw attention to it. So I realize it makes me look like a bad friend, but it's...
Yeah. It just let it ride. It'll die.
Yeah. It's a very common thing. You get desensitized.
It is always funny when I forget that if someone new doesn't know that and they just see my friends being like just patiently waiting for it to end.
Yeah. I was like,
the first time.
I was like, oh my god, and then he was like, he does this.
Yeah,
I was like,
something
what?
He does. Yeah.
I was like, what?
So what's our outro today, guys? What are we gonna get out of here on? Any good? I mean, I feel like senpai.
I was gonna say
Don't
senpai. Yeah.
Either don't bully me.
Don't lewd me, senpai.
Don't lewd me, senpai.
Don't bully me, viewer chan.
Don't lewd me, senpai. I'm actually leaning towards. I like that a
Nagatoro,
lot.
more like Nagatoro.
Okay, that's an option. We'll put that on the back burner.
It's
maybe.
just I wanted to say because I wrote it down. It's just stop
Don't
the
lewd
madness.
me, senpai. Let's go with that.
Don't
one.
lewd me, senpai.
Don't lewd me, senpai. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time,
don't lewd me, senpai. No. Senpai. I was saying skeet. And Cody was like skeet.